Hey guys, what the fuck is up? It's Spilly, and welcome back to No Bleeps. It's Spilly, obviously, and I have had some wine. I told you guys on Twitter that this episode I had some wine, and I was going to probably be getting personal in this episode. And obviously, by the title, you could tell I'm gonna get personal in this. And also, my mom listens to this podcast, so mom, if you're listening, you probably shouldn't listen to this one because it's just like really weird and personal. And if you do listen to this, like, just don't tell me. Like, we don't have to talk about it because we're talking about a hookup here. So that's that. Anyways, maybe I need some wine in case she does bring it up. But anyways, I'm going to be telling you guys about the time that I got ghosted by a YouTuber. And this is, I can't believe I'm fucking telling you guys this story because I like talked about it with my friend and I was like, should I tell the story? She's like, yeah, you should fucking tell the story. So here I am sitting down, and I definitely needed wine to talk about the story because at the time of this event, like, I cried a lot about this because when you get ghosted, guys, that shit hurts. It hurts bad. And especially when you've talked to this person for a really long time. Anyways, let me just lay it down for you guys that, first of all, I'm sure y'all are like really fucking confused and you're just like, what the fuck? Spilly gets hooked up with the YouTuber? Like, what? Let me just say, I know like a handful of YouTubers, but most of them are like irrelevant, like definitely not top tier YouTubers. And I'm not some other YouTuber. Like, Spilly is my only YouTube channel. So aside from Spilly, I'm literally just a regular person. Before you try to think like I'm a YouTuber with like a whole other channel, like that's really not it. I'm just like a regular gal. And I met all these people like organically. Like, I met someone at a bar, I met someone at a party, I met someone through other people. Like, that's literally just how it goes. I mean, in life you just like meet people through connections, and that's literally just like how things happen. Like, it's not because like, oh my god, Spilly is a YouTuber and that's how she met this person. Like, no. I met this person very, very, very organically. So I'm gonna tell you guys what the fuck happened. Also, I want to say, like, this happened years ago, but I'm not like old as fuck. Like, I literally can't even run a car, so it's not like I'm super fucking old telling you guys this story. Anyways, when I was in college, I like was dating this guy and we broke up after a year, and I swear to God, like, he was like the love of my life. Like, that's how I felt at the time. And I was just like, oh my God, my life is over. I cried like all the time. My college roommate and I had like this massive falling out. And so I just felt like my life was literally ending. And I was like, who do I reach out to? So I reached out to one of my friends from high school, and she was like, oh my gosh, like, we had kind of like a falling out after graduation, but we ended up being able to rekindle during this entire situation, which was the biggest bonus of this entire ghosting thing. But I had messaged her during the time of my breakup, and simultaneously Playlist Live was actually happening, and she said that she was attending. So she was going with another friend, and I told her, I was like, girl, like, I will pay you, like, let me stay in your hotel room, like, I will go to Playlist Live with you. I just like need to get out. I need to do something. I need to get away from school right now. So I don't know how, but she like agreed to letting me go. And we all know, like, I make videos, I edit them, and your girl has like some skills with Photoshop. I was like, I'm not gonna just like go to go. Like, I had been once before, but this time I was like, I do not want to go as like a regular old person. So I saw like online, because day one of Playlist had like already happened, I saw what the creator badges look like. So I was like, I'm gonna freaking make them. I'm gonna fucking Photoshop the passes. And that's what your girl did. I photoshopped the creator badges. Now they're like laminated or whatever. I don't know. I haven't seen them in a while, but someone told me like there's definitely like no way you could try to like fake it anymore. But this was back in the day, So I basically made us these passes, me and my friends, and like we were just like in this area, like they had like food trucks and whatever, and it was like only YouTubers, like creators with these badges could sit in this area. We were just sitting there, and we met like a couple of people, and I met this guy. It was a brief interaction, but I was like, he's pretty familiar. Like, I knew him, but he wasn't like super, super famous. Like, he didn't have a million subscribers, that's what I'll say. But I had heard of him before through watching like other people and people that he knew and people that he was friends with. And basically, after this one interaction, after playlist, after this whole entire situation, I think maybe like a month, maybe like a couple weeks. I don't really know the timeline of the situation, but I somehow one night got the nerve. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna slide into the DMs. I'm gonna slide into the DMs. And I did. I fucking slid into the DMs and I was like, hey, we met at playlist. And I thought you were cute. And I don't know what I said, you guys. It definitely wasn't fucking like that. I think I was definitely a little bit more suave. Like, I had more game at the time. And I was like, you know, I enjoy talking to you or whatever. And he messaged me back. And then he like followed me, I think. And then we started talking all night long, you guys. We talked all freaking night long. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, what's going on? Oh my God. I have like never been so giddy about talking to someone in my whole life. It was just like magic. It felt like magic. We had like this connection. And he was a lot older than me at the time. You guys, don't worry. I was like 19, I believe. I don't know, 18 or 19 at the time. He was a lot older, but I had like fact checked it. And his ex was like my age. So I was like, you know what? I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I know he's down. I know he doesn't care about the age. So we were talking. I was like confident. And then we were texting. You guys, I got the digits. Yeah. So we were texting. We did not live in the same state. So that was kind of just like the big question mark of it all. But a couple of like weeks from when we started talking, we were like literally texting like every day, like every single day. And I like enjoyed texting him. It was so like we had such good conversations and it was so nice and it flowed easily. And I just felt like so happy. Like finally I had like gone through this bad breakup and just like things at school were not good, and finally it was like the summertime and this was all happening, and like me and like my friend that I went to playlist with had like rekindled our friendship, so everything just felt good and felt right. And my friend and I were going to be taking a trip to actually like nearby where he lived, and I was like so excited. I was like, oh my God, like maybe we're gonna see each other, but it didn't happen. We didn't actually get to see each other, but I was just like holding out hope for like some magic that like one day we would like actually get to meet. And I thought like I was crazy, but you guys, it fucking happened. It literally fucking happened. And when I mean like we were talking, like it was like not PG. The conversation was not PG. I'll tell you that. It was definitely not PG. But, you know, one day he texted me and he was like, oh, you live here? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, I'm actually going to be going there very soon with my friends on a trip. And I was like, huh? You're going to be what? No, what? And I couldn't fucking believe it. And honestly, the people that he was like going to be coming on the trip with were like big YouTubers at the time. And so I was like, oh shit. Oh my God, what? So I told my friend, I was like, holy shit, girl. Like, I think we're gonna meet him and like his friends. Because, you know, as a girl, you know, you don't just meet up with people alone. You gotta bring a friend because, you know, scary. Basically, you know, the days went by, the weeks went by, and it came the time where we were going to meet up. And we were going to meet up at like a club, which honestly feels so gross to say because during this coronavirus time, I could just like literally never even imagine like going to a club right now. But we were going there. So my friend and I go, and we're waiting outside of this club, and he is inside, and I'm just like shitting my pants. Like, holy shit, tonight is the fucking night. And honestly, I have photos of like what I wore this night, and it was just like this Brandy Melville off the shoulder top and this black pencil skirt, and I regret it immensely. Like, it was just not cute at all. Maybe it was cute that day, but it was just not anything remotely close to what I would wear anytime today. But anyways, we go, and he like apparently like knows or his friends knew the owner of the club or whatever, and they come out to get us, and I'm like, holy fuck. Because, like, we're seeing each other for the first time. We'd, like, been talking all this time, and I'm just like, oh my god. Like, holy fuck. It felt like straight out of a movie. I, like, felt like I had dreamed the whole night because I barely have any recollection of it. Like, I have, like, one photo or, like, one video. My friend took, like, one video of me and this guy in this club dancing together. And that's like the only recollection I have because I just remember like the whole entire time I was like trying to cherish the moment. Have you guys ever had like a moment where you just like know it's not going to last forever and you just like try your best to like really take it all in, and you just like, you know, and you keep telling yourself it's not going to last, it's not going to last, it's not going to last, I need to remember this, I need to remember this, I need to remember this. Like, I enjoyed the moment, but the whole time I was just like, oh, like happy and sad at the same time. That's why that Casey Musgrave song Happy and Sad just is like, you guys, it hits because it's just so freaking true. So we're at the club, we're dancing, my friend is having a grand old time hanging out with his friends, and we're all having fun. It was like truly such an amazing time. And then we like all go back to the hotel, and it's like literally the penthouse, like the nicest fucking hotel room I had ever been in. Truly, there was like a really nice view, and well, I mean, we literally like passed out during like it was so late. I don't even like, the sun was literally coming up by the time like we had gone to bed. And I mean, you know, you could predict like things that happen in between, but like when I tell you like we literally passed out during, we literally passed out during. And I just remember like waking up, we kind of hung out for a little bit, and they had to leave. Like, they had to leave to go do something. I don't remember what the fuck they had to leave and go do, but they like left, so we left. And we said like goodbye in the hotel like lobby, and then my friend and I left. And like on the way back, we were just like, oh my god, like that night. And then I get this text that's like, oh my god, like, are you on birth control? And I'm like, yeah, like I am. He was like, oh, thank god. And when I tell you, that was like literally the last text. That was like literally the last text. And I was like, what the fuck is this bullshit? Because the friend fucking texts my friend like that night and is like, oh my god, like come through, like come hang out. And she's like, I'm not gonna go without you. And I'm like, what the fuck is like, what? What the hell? She literally went. And we went together. Like, I don't remember who drove. Like, I think she drove maybe to go to the hotel again. And I just like remember like staying in the lobby, being on the phone with my ex. Like, I called my ex and told him like what was going on. And I just remember like crying. It was not a good moment for me, like at all. And then finally, like, she was like, okay, like I'm coming back downstairs. And then like I had to see the guy again, like in the lobby. And I was just like, hey, bye. Yeah. So that was like immensely uncomfortable and painful. And I think like after this entire situation, like he maybe reached out to me to be just like, hey, like, sorry, like I wasn't looking for anything at the time, and just like, I really liked you, but just wasn't looking for anything at the moment. He was just so nice. I don't know, like he wasn't like a dick. Like, I don't think he was like a serial like hookup type of person. I don't think he like had hooked up with like a bunch of people. I think he just like really wasn't looking for anything, because I don't think he's dated anyone, really. Maybe like one person, but I don't think he's dated anyone since, I told you guys, I like looked up that he had like an ex who was my age. Like, I really just I don't know. After the situation, after getting ghosted, we actually were in the same place at the same time once again, like 2 years later. Maybe it was just one. I don't remember the timeline. I think maybe just like a year later. And we hung out, and it was fun and cordial and fine, and we didn't hook up or anything, but we'd hung out and it was a good time. Yeah, that was like the last time that I had seen him, and now we live in the same city. So, like, do I include that? Do I include that? I don't know, but you guys know I have a boyfriend, so that's not even a thought. I just figured that I would tell you guys this really fucking weird story that I figured you would get a kick out of, because I doubt any of you have ever even thought that I might have hung out with a YouTuber in person before. But yes, I have, and it's been more than just a little hangout, but I feel like everyone has like these stories. And I mean, this has literally happened to me a handful of times, getting ghosted by someone, honestly. So it's literally just a relatable story, I feel like, to tell you guys, but with like a little interesting twist that you probably wouldn't see coming. But I don't know. This shit just fucking sucks. Like, getting ghosted sucks so bad, and I don't wish it upon anyone at all. Like, it's just one of the worst things ever, and it hurts so bad and just makes you cry. And I definitely cried about this, definitely made me feel insecure, and just all those times, like, holding my phone and like waiting for the text back that just like wasn't gonna come. I just feel so dumb now thinking about it, but just like back then, it just like meant so much to me to be like getting texts. Like, it's how I felt like I was attractive or whatever, but I know better now. I know better now. So all y'all better fucking know that a text ain't going to define your worth. But that's pretty much that story. I think if we saw each other now, like if we ever ran into each other, it would definitely be like okay, like we would be on good terms. But yeah, yikes. I just so uncomfortable. But I sense it coming. Like I honestly just feel it like one day we're gonna run into each other. I feel like I'd be like, do I know you? If I was like, oh hey, I just, I don't know. That would be like such a dick move, but it would not surprise me, that's for fucking sure. But anyways, you guys, I said that I would be doing a personal Q&A this time because I was feeling a little tipsy. I was going to get a little more personal in this podcast episode, so that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. So someone asked me a question and they said, why have you not done a face reveal? Will you ever? Do people in real life know that you do YouTube? Is YouTube your favorite full-time job, or do you work outside of YouTube? So this is a loaded question, and I feel like I get this a lot because people always ask about the face reveal, and when I tell you guys, I think about the face reveal every single day. Like, I go back and forth as to whether or not I'm ever going to do one. I think about it all the fucking time. Like, there's benefits to doing the face reveal, there's negatives to doing the face reveal. I really just don't know. Now, the reason like why I haven't done it, like the negative sides of it, is because it's like literally fucking scary. Like, I would do it if it was fine and dandy and normal, but when you hear about things that happen, like, I don't know if any of you guys know what's going on with Without a Crystal Ball. Like, she has doxed apparently Creepshow art. I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, from what I have heard, it seems pretty true, but there's just like so many people that will dig in on your life, like find out all this stuff about you, and not like negative stuff. Like, they'll find like your address and find your family members and then try to like call your family member's place of work if they don't like the video that you make. And it's just like, I don't need to impose that on anybody in my life. Like, this is something I signed up to do. This is something that I am doing, and I don't want anything that I do to negatively impact like my friends, my family, like my boyfriend, anything like that. Like, that is so utterly terrifying to me, to have people like investigate in on my life. And that's a really big reason why I have not done a face reveal, because like, even though I'm anonymous, you guys, people have really tried to like dig in on who I am, and in really just invasive ways and just really scary ways. And even just like in general, I think I mentioned it in a podcast episode before, but like literally, I think from what my friend and I have gathered is that one of my best friends and I, we used to work together at a same job, and we don't have any mutual friends outside of this job. Like, all of our mutual friends together are from this job. And someone started like sending us like anonymous text messages like of our address and like our name, saying they were like coming to get us and all this stuff. And it was just like super scary, and we had to get the cops involved and all this stuff and like get our places monitored. It was just absolutely terrifying. And that was just like from some place we knew, like some place that we work. We feel like it was just like a coworker who either we rejected or were no longer friends with, because that was like the only thing that made sense to us. But that moment in time just like made me think, like, I just couldn't imagine if I was like online, like this would happen way more often, and I never want to feel unsafe in my own home. That is the scariest thing to me, and I'm just like such a freak when it comes to feeling safe. Like, that would just freak me out completely. But I do know that there are many, many positives to also coming out and doing a face reveal and being more connected with you guys and you guys knowing more about me. And I do really want that, and I do wish like I was less scared to do it, but I just do have those fears about like safety for like my friends and my family and all that stuff. And like when I tell you guys, when this person that my friend and I think like was an old coworker that was like messaging us these really scary messages, I literally did not sleep with the lights off for like at least 3 months. Like I could not sleep with the lights off. It just terrified me. I needed them on at all times. It was just so scary. Someone said, do people, in real life know what you do YouTube? And yes, like my family, my boyfriend, like my friends know, because obviously I do it for work. So when I say like I have to work, like they have to know what the fuck I'm doing. So yes, they do know. And someone said, what does your family think of you being a YouTuber, or do they even know? So like I said, yes, they do know. And honestly, they don't think anything of it other than like they're really happy for me. They think it's cool. And yeah, like they just really cheer me on, and that's pretty much it. So, not much to that one. Someone else said, who's your favorite person in the drama community? This question is from Will. Will, you're my favorite person in the drama community, even though you're not in drama anymore because you're like more in like politics. You guys have no idea what I'm talking about. You need to get on Twitter. I'm kidding, but Will is actually the person that told me to start making a Twitter for Spill Sesh, and we talk very frequently about drama and all this stuff. And I don't know if I like have like a single favorite person in the drama community, but there are people that I do talk to, like talk to T-Spill. I talk to Angelic Oles, which I really enjoy. Like that was an unexpected person that I felt like we really connected and like vibed with. I talked to Dustin Daily. There's just like a bunch of people that like I talk to casually that I really have like enjoyed actually talking to on Twitter and stuff and developed a friendship with. Someone said, what inspired you to start this podcast and how long did it take to get it started up? Oh boy. So I honestly never had a podcast on my mind at all, like ever at all. But one day I got an email that asked me if I was interested in doing one and said that they would like help me get it started and get it off the ground. And I was like, okay, like I guess like I'm down. And then it just felt like a lot at the moment. Like it felt like a lot. It happened, I'd say like last year in November is when I got this email, and I didn't want to be overwhelmed and I didn't want to feel like it was going to take away from my YouTube videos. So I had thought about doing one and I just kept thinking about it, and I didn't want to feel like homework, because when you have like homework or an assignment due and like you get this feeling, you're like, oh my god, I have to do that, I have to do that, I have to do that. I didn't want it to feel like that. I wanted it to feel natural. I wanted to feel like it wasn't stressful to make this extra thing other than videos throughout the week, because I try to post every other day and I didn't want to stress myself out or feel like I had too much to do and not enough time to, see friends and hang out with family and any of that. I didn't want to stress myself out. So it took a really long time. I revisited the idea in March of this year, and that's when I finally got the art made for the podcast. But then I just still kept putting it off, putting it off, putting it off. And then finally, there was like that Call Her Daddy drama, and I was like, oh my god, like podcasts. I was listening to podcasts, but I never like found a big community of people that listen to podcasts. And after like listening to Call Her Daddy and hearing that they had like this big audience of people that really listened to them and they gave advice to people, and not like I was about to give sexual advice or anything like that, but I was just like, they have like a real community here, and I feel like I have like this community on YouTube and I really want to connect to them like in a deeper way, and I felt like the podcast was the perfect way to do that. And they were uncensored, so I was like, holy shit, like I think I can be uncensored in a podcast. So that's pretty much where the idea stemmed from, and where I finally was like, all right, I just need to like rip off the band-aid and just do it. That's pretty much when I started the podcast. I saw a bunch of people asking me to cover topics that were not, they went against YouTube guidelines completely, and I was just like, I can't talk about that, I can't talk about that. And finally I was like, if I make a podcast, I can finally talk about the topics that YouTube won't let me cover, or things that just like I have to bleep things out and it won't make sense. And that's exactly why I made this freaking podcast, so that I can curse and say fuck and all this other stuff and talk about everything that YouTube won't let me. So that's pretty much how it all stemmed and how this podcast came to be. Someone else had asked me any nasty encounters with any YouTubers, and honestly, no, not really. Like, I haven't had any nasty encounters, like, no one has been rude to me or anything like that. Like, I've definitely had YouTubers that their publicists have asked me to, like, take videos down, and I've had, like, a YouTuber, like, Summer McKean, reach out to me and ask me to take down a video because she had, like, changed and apologized for her things, which I actually felt pretty sympathetic about because I felt like she had kind of taken time away from everything that had gone on that was like dramatic. I believe like last year, maybe even the year before, that things that had gone on, she had really stepped away from like her toxic friend group and all that stuff. And so I was like happy to take the video down, and things that were just like not right, I had taken down. But I've never had like an interaction, I think, that was like nasty of any sorts. Nasty comments definitely come from people that like don't know the full story or like don't watch like a full video or something. I understand people have like 100% their own opinions, and I definitely let people have their own opinions about videos and like stances on different types of drama and stuff. But like when people like don't really watch the full video and then like try to say something to me and I'm like, okay, but I addressed this, that's where like the nasty comments come from, and that's when I'm like, oh my gosh, like just keep watching the video. Like this comment, for example, like on one of my most recent videos on the entire Austin McBroom Jake Paul situation, Austin McBroom basically posted a picture of him and Catherine and called out Jake Paul in the caption and was just like, Jake Paul keeps running away from me, like he doesn't want to box me, because all of a sudden Austin wants to say that he wants to like box and have like a fight because it's like the newest trend, I guess, for YouTubers to like box each other. It's just like so weird, and I feel like this entire thing is for clout anyways, and like the drama is all fake. But Jake, in response to this, said that Catherine was in his DMs, and someone commented on the video saying like that they feel like I didn't call out Catherine enough for cheating on Austin. And I said in the video that I felt like whatever they were saying was fake. Like, I just really don't think that Catherine was out here messaging Jake Paul to like cheat on Austin. And he said, your wife is in my DMs. He didn't say like, your wife is in my room. Like, that's not, I don't think there was like any clear cheating in this video, but someone got mad that I didn't call out Catherine for cheating, but like I've called out Austin in the past for, rumors of him being a cheater, and it's just like, I don't know if Austin's ever cheated. I've heard things about it, but I can't say it with like 100% facts. But I don't know. I feel like people just get mad over like the slightest things, and someone got mad that I like intro my YouTube videos by saying that I have a podcast called No Bleeps, and they were like, whenever you say no bleeps, it like literally gives me the chills and I'm triggered, and I just like I get so annoyed, and I'm like, okay, like then don't watch my videos. They were like, why can't you just say like you can listen to my podcast and put no bleeps on the screen, like no bleeps, I don't like the name. I'm like, okay, like I don't know what to tell you, that's the fucking name. But I don't know, you guys. So, no nasty interactions with YouTubers, but the comment section is a whole different world. But anyways, I hope that I spilled enough fucking tea about my life for you guys today. I honestly am like scared. I feel like I spilled a little too much, even though I like tried to be like reserved about it. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and leave any suggestions for anything like you want me to cover on this podcast down in the comment section below. If you guys are listening to YouTube, I do have a YouTube channel for this podcast, if you guys did not know that, but I upload episodes onto my YouTube channel either the day after or just like a couple hours after I post the podcast everywhere else that you stream podcasts. If you guys want to ask me questions to be featured on the podcast, you can DM me on Twitter. I have a Twitter for the podcast. It is at NoBleepsPod. Or you can email me. I have the email linked in the description if you are on a streaming platform. If you guys are watching on YouTube, you can leave it in the comments down below. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for listening. It means the absolute world to me, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Bye, guys.